Guys, by a quick show of hands, who's planning to be at the parish mission on November 17 through 19? Just a quick show of hands. Okay, awesome. Saw a couple of nods no out there. I want to talk a little bit about why we're doing this, why we're having a parish mission. And it starts a couple of years ago when we worked with Chameleon Architecture and we began a vision planning process out of which was born this 5-year pastoral plan where we, St. Gabriel and St. Bridget, seek to become the brightest beacons of hope in our counties. And you'll recall during that process, many of you were there. It was wonderful. It was exciting. There was a lot of conversation. We had 6 town hall meetings. There was a lot of discernment going on in prayer, a lot of energy. And out of that came this 5-year pastoral plan. And those banners about summarizing the plan hang in the back of the church. It consists of 2 goals: empowering parishioners and befriending our neighbors. And through that, we're seeking to change the culture of our 2 parishes. We're trying to no longer be just parishes where a lot of us just show up and receive. And that's not a slam. We must show up, and we need to receive here, especially here on Sundays, as you do. That is a huge part of this. That must remain constant. But we're seeking to change a culture in the sense of empowering us, the parishioners. That when we have an idea, when we see something needs to be done, that we go and do it, and that the parish resource us to do that, to pursue our passion, to pursue the need, and that there would be people or coaches there to help you make sure that they're there consulting with you, that your idea, your passion, be brought to fruition. And we're trying to change that culture of declining in number to that of growing our parishes. And we spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of prayer, and we certainly feel that our Lord is calling us to implement this 5-year pastoral plan. And we're about a year into it, a little over a year. It's been a little over a year since we have rolled out that plan. And certainly part of that plan is building the beacon of hope here at St. Gabriel, the capital campaign. But today I'm talking more on the pastoral plan, the overarching plan, as distinct from the capital campaign. And so we've had town hall meetings, a lot of them. There have been a ton of great ideas, but very few of them have taken hold. Very few have taken their ideas and ran with them. Now, to be truthful, there's a lot of good things that have begun since the rollout of this pastoral plan. And just to name a few, there's a card ministry that goes on a monthly basis where people make handmade cards and send them out to fallen away Catholics, and that is bearing fruit. The compassionate visitors and our nursing home ministers, one of the things we discovered in the vision planning process was that people desired more training. And so there's a lot more training for that ministry going on almost a quarterly and a monthly basis. People wanted to know more and grow in their faith, and so our parishes bought a subscription to basically like a Netflix for Catholics, an online streaming service for catechesis called form.org. We've had a lot of social gatherings pop up throughout these last couple of years. We have movie nights, we've had pool parties, we just had a really successful trunk or treat. We also, as many of you here in Connorsville, we saw this past week in the newspaper, the St. Vincent de Paul. The News Examiner did a wonderful article on the St. Vincent de Paul Society and this partnership that's going on between Gabriel's Bridget's and the parish in Richmond. So there's a lot of good things that have come up. But one thing that the leadership has noticed is that energy has waned, right? Since the rollout of this plan, since the vision planning process, people seem less and less engaged in this 5-year plan. And one of the reasons we suspect, and I think if we're fully honest, is, and I've had to be honest, is perhaps we've put the cart before the horse. I think we've put the cart before the horse, which is to say, our 5-year plan is very, very action-oriented. It's very directed toward us doing things. And there's not a whole lot of focus on maintaining and deepening our connection with the one who calls us, Jesus Christ, the one who calls us to change our culture, the one who calls us to become the brightest beacons of hope in our counties. Sometimes it feels like our parish is a little bit more like an NGO, a non-governmental organization, which consists of wonderful volunteers who go all over the world to do wonderful things and support and help the impoverished in the world. And they do that largely because they're nice people. But we're Christians, and while we might be nice people, hopefully we are, we don't do these things because we're nice people. We don't do these things out of the goodness of our hearts. We do these things because Jesus Christ calls us. That is what separates Christians from a volunteer culture. We are ministers. We are disciples of Jesus. We are not volunteers. But in order for us to deepen that identity as disciples, as ministers of our Lord's gospel, as ministers of our Lord's will, as ministers of the gospel, we have to deepen our connection to Him. And so that's what this parish mission is all about. We're trying to set aside significant time to reconnect with the one who does call us to change our culture, who does call us to become the brightest beacons of hope. And if you think about it, 3 nights, maybe looking at it from this vantage point, doesn't seem like a significant amount of time, but it is a significant amount of time. Think about your lives. Think about your schedules. 3 nights in a row is a very significant amount of time. A Sunday night, a Monday night, and a Tuesday night is a very significant amount of time. And our Lord desires your presence here because He desires you. And He certainly desires you and I to take part and help our parish change into the brightest beacon of hope. November 17, November 18, November 19. We will start each of those evenings with prayer together. Sunday night we'll have adoration. Monday and Tuesday we'll have Mass. And then we'll hear from a wonderful speaker each of those nights, a Catholic speaker, someone who's going to talk on the theme of discipleship, the theme of conversion, helping us connect and deepen our connection with Jesus Christ. And that is the primary goal of each of those evenings of our parish mission. And after each of those evenings, the secondary goal is just for us to gather together, to hang out, to have some time in reception, some fellowship. Also on each of those evenings, on 2 of them, there will be a ministry fair. All of our parish's ministries will be represented there. And you're invited just to walk around, ask questions, see what's going on. You don't have to sign up for anything. You are most welcome to. You are encouraged to. But it's not a manipulation to try and get you to sign up for things. We just want you to know kind of what's going on and discern. Maybe our Lord is calling you to one of these ministries. And on one of those nights, the night at St. Bridget, we'll have some social ministry activities, an opportunity to just pitch in and do some works of charity if you want. Each of those receptions, there will be food available, there will be childcare available, there will be programming for our youth and our middle schoolers. High schoolers, we would hope that they would come to the actual parish mission itself. Guys, if you didn't raise your hand, if you are not planning on coming to the parish mission, I ask you to reconsider. Make time to connect with Jesus Christ. This opportunity doesn't come along very often. Let's together make time to deepen our connection with Jesus Christ. He is our Lord, and He is the one that is calling us into this new future of changing our culture into the brightest beacons of hope. And we cannot do it without Him, and we cannot do it without you and I being connected with Him.